Okay, hello. Hi, everybody who is watching right now and who will watch the replay. I'm excited about today's Instagram live session. And it is money, money, money. We're talking money. Money is such a delicate topic. I'm excited to introduce. Hold on one second, please. Yes, I want to invite. I want to invite our lead speaker, or the person that is going to chat with me about money and mental health. So, hello to everyone that is joining right now. It's exciting. Paul Adeyeye is who I call my Canadian money coach. He is a family man. He is an author and an entrepreneur. He is a Canadian licensed financial educator. He's on a mission to educating immigrants and newcomers and people that have just come into the country. And he's helped me understand a lot about the Canadian money system, what works. He has through some of his posts online, I have learned about, credit and debit and investing and RRSP and RESP and so on and so forth. So it is my absolute pleasure to invite Paul. I'm just trying to do that right now. Hold on one second, Paul. Paul, you know what? Can you send me a request? Because I don't know why it's not coming up for me. I'm trying to invite you. Can you please send me a request? Okay, good. Thank you. Okay. It's going to be good. It's really going to be good.
Hi, hi,
Hi,
Funmi.
Paul.
Hi.
Hi. How's it going?
Going well, going well. The weather is good.
Going well. Hello to everybody that is joining now and those that will join and catch the replay. I'm excited to do this with everybody. Before I get into everything with Paul, I want to just remind us that we are talking money and mental health, and I'm going to type it in the chat. Hello, Itoro girl, how are you? And hello to everyone that's joining. So, just for fun, there's the song that I just used in my Instagram post, and it was like, I got my mind on my money and I'm not going away. It's by Rihanna and T.I. And I remember that song from me years ago. It was always like my hype song. I was always using it to hype my dad, not my dad, my husband. I'd be like, hey, you have all the money, you have all the money. Ah, and we use it in clubs and all of that. But I also, realized that there is such a huge, beautiful. Thank you very much, Marcel. I realized that there is such a huge connection between money and the way we think. If we have money in our bank accounts, our shoulders are up and high, there's just something, there's a connection. So before I even just get into it, Paul, thank you very, very much for joining. This is an Instagram live session that is what's the word? It's like among the different Instagram live sessions that we have been having in the month of May, and it's all around mental health awareness. So I want to say thank you to everybody that's joining us right now, but also encourage you to catch the replays of other Instagram live sessions that we've had. We have had 4 so far. And Paul's live session is the 5th one. We're going to have 2 more before the month of May is ended. So today it's all about my money, and I want to type it in the chat. My money and my mental health. And then, as I said before, some other people joined. Paul is who I call my Canadian money coach. He is a licensed financial educator. He's an author. And as Marcel has said just a little bit above, the book, The A Plus Entrepreneur, is a must read for anybody that is trying to do business in Canada. And as I said, also, he's a family man. He lives in Ottawa. Sometimes we jam at different events where I am excited and pleased to be speaking alongside him. And Paul, thank you very much for joining. Please go ahead. Say anything to our audience today.
Thank you, Funmi. First of all, thank you for having me on this session. And hi to everyone connecting from anywhere in the world. I'm assuming that most people are connecting from Canada and maybe US or Nigeria, but anybody can connect from anywhere.
Yeah.
Thanks to technology.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to do this with you, and I feel like this is one of the best times to talk about mental health and money, because there's a lot going on right now in the world. Every day you wake up, you hardly see positive news about the economy, and it looks like it's a scary situation for most people. Even those that have their jobs, they are worried about what the future holds. So I feel like this is a good time to have that conversation, and I'm excited to be doing this. So thank you for having me.
I agree. Thank you very much for accepting the invitation. Paul, what does mental health mean to you personally?
Okay, to me,
We're going into it.
mental health means everything. Mental health, I am big on health, and thank you for mentioning my book. In fact, my fourth chapter is titled The Health Triangle, where it talks a lot about health and why you should be responsible for your health, because I believe that everything happens twice, in your mind, then in reality. So I'm very big on mental health. Generally, I'm big on health, but I'm very big on mental health. And I feel that everybody must protect their mental space. And when it comes to health, you have to take care of yourself first. So sometimes it may sound like you are being selfish with your health, but when it comes to health, you have to be selfish with your health, because you must be selfish first before you can be selfless. To take care of whatever you want to.
You must first be selfish before you are selfless. Okay.
When it comes to your health.
We're learning. Okay.
Yeah, because like I mentioned, everything happens twice. It starts from your brain, and if you're not really big on protecting your mind, you can't produce what you can't think about. And whatever you think about is what the product will look like. So if you protect your mental space very well, you will likely have a better lifestyle.
You produce the right things.
Yes, you produce the right things. And if you look at the top guys in the world, if you look at, for example, the founder of Apple, Steve Jobs, he founded Apple long time ago, but he's no longer here. But look at Apple today.
Yeah.
Apple is still one of the best companies in the world. Well, I would assume that he was very visionary. And for you to be visionary, your mental space must be okay. You can't just be casual with your mental health if you really want to do well, especially in this part of the world. So I'm big on mental health. I believe everything starts from your mind. And if you want to produce something reasonable, you have to protect that space, and you have to consume something reasonable for you to produce something reasonable.
Okay, we've started. Like we've already started. So thank you and welcome to everybody. Thank you, Busayo. Thank you, Bisoye, Mercy, everybody that I'm seeing that is joining. It's really great to have you. We are talking my money and my mental health. Paul, some people have. I was in a group chat with some women, and I'm not going to call their names. I was in a group chat with some women very, very recently, and they spoke about they were talking about friendships, and somebody testified that a friend who is now an ex-friend borrowed money from her a while back, maybe say NYSC days, like maybe some years ago, borrowed money. She asked her about it. The friend asked for an extension, and when it was time to pay back, the friend actually disappeared.
Hmm.
Like disappeared for years, disappeared, and only showed up at this person, the person talking, only showed up at this person's wedding
Yeah.
out of the blue and said, I'm sorry. And that was it. And another, of course, it's a girl group. We were all laughing. Some people were smiling. Some people were exchanging hugs, comforting this friend. And one babe said, you that you like money. The girl replied saying, money is my love language. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is there a money mindset? Is there a certain way that we all think about money that affects our lives, affects what we produce, affects how we spend, affects how we save, affects how we invest, affects what we do with money? Is there a money mindset? In your years of experience, please, can you give us some context?
Right. So that's a very good question. And for the friend that didn't return the money,
Mm-hmm.
well, I don't want to talk about that, but I feel like when it comes to personal finance,
Mm-hmm.
we all have people that we need our support. But if you're not really careful, you can it can affect your relationships with people.
Yes.
So I also have people that I reach out to for support at some point, and I have people that reach out to me for support. But there's a way I do my thing. I only give out I only borrow
What
what I can
I
afford to
can give
give
out.
you.
Mm.
And if you don't return, it makes it easy. It means you can't come back again to ask. Because I can't borrow you maybe $1,000 and you don't return and you come back again. No, it doesn't work that way. But if you return,
Mm-hmm.
fine. If you don't return, it's okay. So whatever I can afford to give, I don't claim that I borrow you. So talking about money mindset, I agree that there are money mindsets. And I feel like building that mindset is not something that is built consciously. It depends on different factors. So there are two mindsets. There are scarcity mindset. We have scarcity mindset, and we also have abundance mindset.
Mm.
But most of us just work unconsciously. We don't even know the kind of mindset that we have. But one of the biggest factors that contribute to your kind of mindset is how you were raised, and which sometimes in fact, most times you didn't have control about how you were raised. You just found yourself and you were raised like that. So when we grow with these things, it shapes the kind of mindset that we have about money. And I've seen someone who said he purchased the car maybe 15 years after graduating because while he was in high school, one of his friends, the father dropped that friend with that car, and the guy was rude to him. So he made up his mind that whenever he finally makes it in life, he's going to get that car. And that car is very expensive. It's like
Okay.
more than six figures. So when
Yeah.
he finally got that car, unfortunately for him, the guy was not even available anymore. The guy had passed on. But he wanted to like make himself feel like, yes, I need to do this
He has
to
gotten to that
satisfy myself.
level of the person. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's important we find out which mindset do we have. Is it the scarcity mindset or the abundance mindset? And I'll be talking about
What
some
are
of the things.
I was gonna ask, what are some of the traits of a scarcity mindset? How do I know that I have a scarcity mindset?
Yeah. So one, first of all, I'm not going to talk about the background. Let's just try to see, do I have a scarcity
Yeah.
mindset?
Yeah.
If you feel anxious, if you're always anxious and fearful about your finances, you don't want to talk about it. Chances
Mm-hmm.
are you have a scarcity mindset. If you feel like what you have currently is what you deserve, like you are okay, in fact you are just being lucky to have what you have, you may not be able to make more money. That might be due to scarcity mindset. If you are the type that when you see someone that is rich, that appears rich, not even rich, that appears rich, you feel
Appearance.
like
Mm-hmm.
this guy must be doing fraud. It's not possible to be rich in life.
To be this
Every
rich legally.
every rich person in life is doing something illegally. If you have that
Mm-hmm.
mindset, you have scarcity mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are the type that you always feel guilty for some past mistakes that you've made, you're probably going through, maybe you have a scarcity mindset. We all make mistakes. Because in the last 2 years, people in my community, because of the house bubble, you know what happened in the housing market.
Yes, yes.
So a lot of people made some moves, which right now is looking
And it
like a
costs
bad move.
them. Mm.
Some people are still living in they're still feeling very guilty. In fact, I spoke with someone who feels like if he had his way, he would do something bad to his realtor, to himself. He's not sure if he ever forgive himself or he ever forgive his realtor. So people make mistakes. If you are the type that you live very long within that your mistake that you've made years,
Mm-hmm.
you are not forgiving yourself, chances
Mm-hmm.
are you have scarcity mindset.
Mm-hmm.
If you live in short term because you believe that the future will take care of itself, and like who knows, maybe we'll not even wake up tomorrow.
I like that.
Yeah, so there's
Wow.
something they say, YOLO, you only live once. Yeah, I understand, you
Mm-hmm.
live once, but if you are not visionary, if you don't think about the future, maybe you have
Mm.
scarcity mindset. So those are the traits that you may want to look out for
Ah,
to.
Paul, it's like you are talking to me. Oh, I don't know. It's like
Or
you're
maybe
talking
because
to
I'm
me. So
using
the things
you,
you
I
said,
will not be using you
I
now.
know. I'm
Let's speak
identifying
away.
myself somewhere. I'm identifying myself in some of these things you are saying. Ah, maybe I have a scarcity. Maybe I have like 20% scarcity mindset somewhere.
Yeah, it's possible. Even
It's
me,
possible.
at some point, I'm still working on my scarcity mindset too.
Mm.
So it's not like, because I mentioned that how you are raised or how you were raised is an
Mm.
important factor. And because we did not have control over that, in my own case, I wasn't raised with a silver spoon. And somehow it affects the way I I look out for things like, no, my
Yeah.
kids must have a better lifestyle. And, and that might have some influence on the way I see money, the way I protect money, and the way I work with money. But I'm being
Mm.
conscious and I'm trying to switch
To
from
raise
scarcity
my
mindset
own kids too. Yeah.
to abundance mindset. And it takes a while.
Nice. It takes a while. Wow. For example, I find that I'm always looking for sales. If somebody asks me, maybe, or sends me the, oh, this thing is available for sale, I'll be thinking, I'll be comparing, I'll be juxtaposing one versus the other. Like maybe there's a little bit of scarcity mindset somewhere there. I admit. I admit.
Well,
So
I'm not yet to
let's talk the
diagnose.
positive side.
Okay.
Let's talk the positive side. How do I know when I'm growing in an abundance mindset?
Yeah, so that's a good question. And how to know is just like the opposite of what
The
you said.
opposite.
Yeah. So if you are the type that even if it looks like you're making good money and you feel like you can make more, you want to challenge yourself to do
Mm,
more. You want
mm,
to take some risk. You probably have abundance mindset, or you are moving there.
mm,
And if you are not, if you are the type that you're not so like quiet about your finances, you are ready to talk about it, you are ready to even
mhm,
discuss with yourself
mhm,
about it, you don't have scarcity mindset. Because there
mm.
are people with credit card debt, they don't even look through the statement. They know that they are owing, but they don't want to look at it. They don't want to look at it.
And you be owing the banks $20,000 to $30,000 and you don't want to know.
They don't want
Ah,
to know. So
okay.
if you can address your needs, address your approach to money, you probably have abundance mindset.
Mm,
But also, I feel like for people that are trying to switch to abundance mindset, it's
yes.
important to reflect on your perspective. I mentioned how you were raised. What did
Mm,
your parents teach you about money?
mm,
Or what did they not teach you about money?
mm,
Were you raised in an environment where they were worshiping money?
mm,
And you also want to check, did they use money as a tool? Did they understand that? Because money
mm,
is
mm,
a tool. I believe that money is a tool and everybody needs to know how to use it to prepare for the future.
mm,
Then in my own case, I I use affirmations just to remind myself every day
Mm.
that money is a tool. I create positive affirmations about money. This is how much I want to make because I want to bless people. Then you also need to monitor your spendings. Then importantly, you need to know your triggers. In your own case, I think sales is your triggers. Even though sales are good, but the thing
Yes.
is, if you're not really careful, there are times you will buy what you don't need because it
Yes.
appears cheap.
Yes. 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 That's very true. I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, speaking of what you said, sometimes when people send me sales adverts, oh, this thing is on sale at Costco, this thing is on sale at with the Barnes and Noble or whatever, all the various stores. I think to myself, do I really need this thing? Even though it is on sale, but am I going to use it in the long term? Why am I hoarding it? How many things can I accumulate just because it's on sale? Will I
Mm.
really use it? Do I really need it? So thank you very much. I hope you guys are all taking notes, and those that are going to watch again. We're talking my money and my mental health. Paul here is a certified licensed Canadian financial educator, and he's been talking to us about the differences between scarcity mindset and an abundance mindset. He's giving us some clues, and I think that I am still in that scarcity mindset, I have to admit, but I want to be able to move gradually into an abundance mindset. I mean, I've heard the phrase, money does not grow on trees. And sometimes I find myself about to say it to my children. But I realize that if I say that out loud and I reinforce it to my children, then they will always be, they will inherit that scarcity mindset. They will always feel like you have to work extra, extra, extra hard for what you have, and almost like it's not going to grow, or there's not going to be enough for tomorrow. That thing that you talked about, living day by day by day. So we all really have to be careful what we say to our children, how we model, what behaviors that we model to our children about money, what we ourselves, what do we think about money and the abundance or the availability of money. Somebody asked us, and even though we want to usually take questions at the very end, someone is asking, what is a scarcity mindset? Can you just give us a one-liner, Paul, about that scarcity mindset?
Yeah, so I think scarcity mindset is about feeling insecure about money.
Hmm.
Feeling like is more about the beliefs you have with money. You might even have a lot of money in your account, but you still feel like you have some agitations, you are anxious, you don't want to talk about it,
You
you
don't
don't want to
want to touch it, you don't want to spend it, you don't want to invest
invest
it.
it. Exactly. So that's like
Mhm.
scarcity mindset.
So if you're anxious, if you're worried when payday is coming, if you're worried when you have to give out money or you need to donate or you need to help someone, and you find yourself okay, yes, but you find yourself extra tight-fisted, then you may have a scarcity mindset. And what I was, just to clarify what I was saying about money not growing on trees, saying that to my children, I don't want my children to ever feel like we don't have money and everything is expensive. No, I want them to know that I am working for the money. So if maybe they ask me for something that I can afford or that is in my budget, I can give them, I can buy it for them. But it doesn't mean that they should come and ask me for something outlandish or ask me for the same thing over and over again that they may not even use. I want them to be wise with money. So do I. I want to be wise with money myself. So that's just to clarify my comment about, the kind of mindset and the kind of perspectives that we pass down to our children. Speaking of perspective and mindset, Paul, what do you think? Can I be broke? Like, maybe not in debt, but can I just like not have any extra money, and can I be happy? That's a very important question. Because they say that money cannot buy happiness. But some other people now say that. But it can give you some form of happiness. Tell me, what do you think from your perspective? Can I be broke and still be happy?
Wow, the question is short, but it's tough. It's short and tough. Yeah, being broke and being happy. So, to address that, I think it's important we even talk about different types of wealth.
Okay, now.
Because being broke is relative. And you might be thinking you are broke, but you may not really be broke. And someone else may even think he's rich, but in the real sense is broke.
Okay.
But to
Okay, we're listening.
talk about being broke and being happy, I think let's talk about the 5 types of wealth which contributes to the overall feeling in life. So we have social wealth, which is about the people around you, which is important. And we also have physical wealth. Physical wealth is your okay. Yeah.
Sorry, but I said people should make money before saying money cannot buy happiness.
Yeah, that's correct. Because I saw a post, I saw one guy said, money, if you say money cannot buy happiness, you probably don't know where to shop. So, and to be honest with you, you yourself know that when you have money, there's a level of peace of mind that you have.
Yeah, there's an Igberaga for those that understand Yoruba.
Happiness. Yeah. Yeah. Let me talk about the types of wealth. So we have physical wealth, which is about your health, your physical health. Like, are you fit? Do you exercise? Do you eat well? Do you sleep well?
Yes.
Then we also have mental wealth. And I'm happy having this conversation. So mental wealth is also part of wealth. But most of us even ignore all those ones. We focus so much on money. So financial wealth is like 20% of the overall wealth that anybody can have. You might even have so I talked about physical wealth, then also time wealth. Time is also part of wealth. And the thing about time is it keeps going and you can't buy it back.
Yeah, you get poorer. You get time poorer every second.
As you grow, yeah. So maybe you have social wealth, you have time wealth, you have physical wealth, and you also have mental wealth, but you are struggling with your financial wealth. You are not really broke. But let's not talk about money, being broke in money and being happy. Okay. I will say you might be happy being broke, but you'll be happier when you have money. You might be happy being broke, but you'll be happier when you have money. However, you should be intentional about joy because joy comes from within. And like I mentioned, everything happens twice. First in your mind before you now see it happening around you. So if you have that joy, that inner joy, that internal joy, it will reflect in your life. You might be able to maintain some happiness even when you are broke. And I have some data that I checked, and the data was saying, let me confirm what I'm about to say.
Okay.
I wrote it somewhere that people who are broke, they are like 3 times unhappy than people who have money. So it's correct that if you are broke, you may not be happy. And if you think you are happy being broke, you will be happier when you make more money.
Thank you,
if your happiness is on a level of 5 or 5/10,
wow, and you are
broke. Now imagine if you have money. money
is... Now you're talking.
Okay. Yeah, money is important. It helps you. You need money for a lot of things. In fact, no one can survive without money. And as adults, you have people looking up to you. You have kids. You have bills to pay. Like I mentioned, if you look at what's going on now, people are out of jobs. People don't have emergency funds. People don't know what will happen if they lose their jobs. That's enough to even make you sad and be worried. But if you have money somewhere, you say, say,
you'll be content. You'll be like, at least I'm not about to be thrown out of my house. I'm not about to be bankrupt,
Yeah.
you know.
And it gives you a good level of peace of mind. It gives you
Mm.
confidence. It
Mm.
helps your self-esteem. Like if you are changing jobs, for example, let's say you are changing jobs and you are comfortable where you are, maybe you are earning 100K. You know how to
That's true.
negotiate that.
Okay.
If it's not gonna be 150, I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not moving.
Imagine if you were jobless when you are looking for that job. You won't
If
even
they
know your
offer you
worth.
50K,
You say thank you.
that's true.
Thank you.
That's true. That's it.
Yeah.
True.
So I don't know if some people are happy being broke, but if you are happy being broke, you will be happier when you make more money.
Thank you very much for this perfect answer. It's very diplomatic, but it is the right answer. Thank you, Paul. So, um, so if we want to just put it together now, I want you to tell me, you know, hold on, people become, I'm just looking at someone's comment, being broke is not funny. My issue is the people that become tight all in the name of they don't want to go back to the old days. That's the scarcity mindset
Mindset,
that we were
right?
just discussing, where you are so anxious for the future and you don't take any risk, you don't put any money out there, you don't invest, you don't give, you're very tight-fisted. That is part of the scarcity mindset that we were just discussing. And now, so let's assume that I was broke and now I've balanced. That is, I've gotten rid of all my debts and I'm earning and I've started investing. Maybe I have some segregated or mutual funds here and there. I have my life insurance, all, and maybe some savings for the children and all of that. The question is, what do you think is the relationship? Now that, sorry, sorry, my jug of water
Okay.
was about to fill. Now that my net worth, this is me using as an example, is now at an okay place. What would be the relationship between my net worth and my mental health? You touched on it a little bit, but I want you to, just break it down a little bit more and what you would say are the ways that I can maintain my good net worth and my good mental health simultaneously.
Yeah, so that's a very deep one, and
Sorry, I needed to give you jam question.
that's a very deep one. So I think, first of all, let's talk about net worth. So for some people that may not even understand what net worth means.
Yes,
So
thank you. You're muted. Okay, it- it's okay.
net worth is, if you look at everything that you have that you can call your own, physical things that can be sold, when you sell it and you take out your debt, the value is your net worth. So if you have maybe properties, $2 million, but you have, they say $3 million, they say that's negative net worth.
Sorry, Bese. For those that don't know, it's debt.
Okay,
Debt.
sorry, and you
DEBT.
have
Bese is debt.
debt of $3 million, that's negative net worth. And there's
Yes.
someone who is just earning maybe $15 per hour, no property, no assets, but has $2,000 in the bank, no liability. His net worth is two
No
thousand
credit card
dollars,
debt.
no credit card debt.
Yes.
So the person even has a higher net worth than someone who has maybe. So net worth and mental health.
Mm.
I feel like there's a strong relationship between your net worth and your mental health. I was talking about some data, and I'm going to talk about another one that is talking about people with lowest income have
Mm.
anxiety disorders
Mm.
2.5 times more than people with high income.
Mm. 2.5 times more.
More than people with high income.
Mm.
So people that don't have money, that are low income earners, they don't, they pro okay. Thank you, Alika.
Alika.
So people that their net worth is like minus, there's no way to not affect their mental health if they really want to be honest with themselves. And let me also mention some data that I also have here. 46% of people with debt have mental health diagnosis. 86% of people with mental health issues and debt said their debt worsens their situation. 86%. Because people have debt, they probably don't want to talk about it, but they are not happy inside. Everybody is worried, especially for people like us that back from home, we are not used to this kind of
Credit card
credit
life.
card life. So every day we wake up, we see minus something, we are worried. And those with debt are 3 times more likely to contemplate suicide due to the debt. So your net worth has a strong relationship to with your mental health. So now back to your question. You've been able to take care of your debt. You've been able to pay your bills. You are now on maybe zero. Zero is a good place, to be fair.
0 is good.
Zero is good. In fact, it's a big progress. You are now on zero. I said the best thing to do is to keep up with whatever you are doing. If you are living in North America and you are debt-free, apart from maybe your mortgage, you don't have multiple debts here and there, you are doing well. Just keep up with what you're doing and maybe get more financial education and be visionary. Keep investing and saving for the future. Because if you're on level 0, the more you have in your account, the more positive you become. Then it's also important to understand debt management, how to manage debt. Because we find ourselves in multiple debts here and there, and sometimes people use the wrong method to pay off the debt, which eventually makes them to pay so much more. They just keep servicing interest, and they don't really touch the principal. Like what is going on now in the real estate market. I was having a conversation with some of my friends, and what people are paying in interest right now is unimaginable. And it's bad because it keeps you worried that you're paying thousands of dollars every month and you're not touching your principal. So although in this case, we really don't have so much options, but in cases like credit cards, line of credit, study loans, car loans, you can manage your debt in a way that you pay in time and you also don't pay so much interest. But I won't go into the details of how to do that.
Oh, for sure, you guys need to follow Paul and reach out to him. I'm also studying to be a licensed financial educator.
Yay.
So I'll really be very, very happy to be able to help people. And really, there's a peace. There's a level of peace you get to when you're not servicing a debt, or you're not owing something so big that it's almost overwhelming to you. There's a level of peace of mind that you cannot trade for anything in the world. There's one thing I noticed though, and that's about budgeting. This question, I want to ask you if you can help us out, because I feel like some people don't even make budgets because they feel like, what's the point? I'm not going to follow the budget, or there's always something that will happen, Sha. So what's the point of budgeting? Can you give us some tips on budgeting? Something, because the reason why I'm asking is because of the connection it has with your mental health. How can we budget? And how can we, yes, very enlightening. Yes, thank you, Alika. How can we budget? And how can we budget in such a way that we are not so tight-fisted? It's not as if we are budgeting and then we are enslaved or arrested by the budget. Because I understand that is also it also ties in with our money mindset. Please give us some tips.
Yeah, so budgeting I think is even one of the most important tools when you're trying to get your personal finance in a good shape. And like you mentioned, most people don't do it. I wasn't doing it before too, because I was just like, what will happen, will happen. Am I not smart enough to know what to do with my money? But I know how much I earn, I know how much goes out. But you know what? Every time I sit down, then like I just try to do some calculations in my head. I'm always like, where is this money going to?
Where? It's just
Where
be
is this money
disappearing. I'll be
going
like,
to? That's why I always end my post by saying, if you don't show your money where to go, you will keep wondering where it went. You won't know. You will just be like, where is this money going to? So it's
wow,
important to
that's a good
budget.
one.
It's important to budget. And there's a rule they call 50-30-20 rule for budgeting. But this rule, first of all, let me put out a disclaimer. Personal finance is personal. It may not work
Good
for
one.
you. So you have to identify your goals and what you think is best for you. But the 50-30-20 rule is a good one, which says that 50% of what you earn in a month should take care of your bills, your rent, everything you are spending on. If I ask people to start talking, they will tell you that this thing is not achievable, because some people 90% is not even
80%.
sufficient. Yeah, because there's inflation, there's a lot going on. And that's why I mentioned initially that personal finance is personal. So if you find yourself in a situation that your 50% cannot take care of your bills currently, and there's no way you can get more money, if you can make more money, beautiful. However, when you're making more money, you still have to stick to that budget. Because what most of us find ourselves doing is that
We
the more
spend more.
money we make, the more we spend. That's when you now see that, how was I even surviving on? How was I surviving before? Like, are you serious? I was earning $30,000 per year. It's not possible. How was I surviving?
How was
I
I
must have
spending?
suffered.
Yeah.
So every time you grow in income, don't let your expenses grow with it. You might adjust your lifestyle a little bit, because you also want to enjoy your life. You want to save all your life and don't have a good time. And that's why that percentage makes sense. So even when you now make more money, that means your 50%, if it was 2,000 you were earning before,
Yes.
50% too should probably increase.
Increase.
But for those that cannot do that right now, don't be too strong on yourself. Just take it easy. Identify things that are important. The fact that you're spending 100% on your bills today doesn't mean you won't get to the point that you'll be able to spend 50% or 60% on your bills. But be sure that you are not living way above what you are earning. And not everybody wants to live above what they are earning. Some people find themselves in Toronto, for example. They need to work. Toronto is expensive. They're not doing remote jobs. They have to go to work. They have to pay rent. Rent is like $3,000. So you can't just say they are being lavish. They are not being
50%.
lavish.
Yeah. It's where they are.
It's where they are. So if you find yourself in a way that if you're able to get another job in a different city and you think that city is okay for you to raise your family, you might want to move to suburbs. You might want to move to
Seriously, Paul, I'm
countryside.
thinking about moving to Ottawa. I'm serious.
You want to come to countryside?
Yes.
You might
I'm
want to
thinking
move.
about it. So this Toronto is not paying me at all.
Yeah. So those are the things that you may want to look at. Try to adjust your lifestyle. Try to increase your income, but always budget. There are different apps that you can use for budgeting right now. They will link it to your bank app. Initially, you are going to find it very difficult. It's going to look like, are you crazy? Everything you are checking. But what you don't check, what you don't track, you can't improve on.
You can't manage. Yes.
When I started tracking my expenses, because I wasn't doing any RRSP before. But top, I just woke up and said, guy, let's start something. And you know what? Every time you put some money towards different places, you realize that you won't die. Every other thing will adjust.
That's true.
They will just fit in, and you will be living your life. They will just fit in.
That's true.
And just do prioritize. just be prioritized so that it will help you
So
mentally,
it will not pinch
psychologically.
you too much.
Yes.
Yes, you won't feel it.
If you are earning $3,000 before, you've now decided that 200 should go towards RRSP, 200 should go towards TFSA. Before they pay you, your bank people, they've deducted it. 2,600 enters your account. You know that this is 2,600 that we have to spend. But if you don't get it prioritized, you might probably not be able to comply.
You consistently do it.
Yes. Yeah, thank you for mentioning Mint. Mint is great. I use Mint. Okay, and thank you, Dilawa Determined.
The Lord determined.
Oh, the Lord determined. Okay, thank you. I didn't say that well.
Yeah. So thank you very much for helping us with that, those budgeting tips. Do things that are pre-authorized, track your spending, because if you don't show your money where to go, you'll be wondering where it went. This one is so good. My God. Financial Savvy says she uses good old Excel. That's a good one, but I don't know whether I have time to sit down manually and be writing or typing how much I spent, But still, if that works for you, fantastic. I want to know, before I throw open, the question time to the audience, because this is the time we're wrapping up, I want to find out from you, what are some key things that have helped you in your own personal finances? Like, can you just share with us maybe 1 to 2 tips or tricks that personally you have used that has helped you? And then you guys that are watching, if you have any questions, think about it, write it while we're getting Paul to answer this particular question. Then we'll take any questions from the audience.
Right. So thank you for that question. For me, one of my big motivations is my future. So I always picture myself like 10 years from now, 20 years from now, what will I look like? In fact, when I'm doing that picture, I already have an idea of what my kids will look like 10 years from now. Oh, this guy will be this, probably this tall, then maybe I should start having some gray hair and all that. So when I'm doing that imagination, I also ask myself the kind of lifestyle. Then I check what I'm doing currently, will it take me there? Then I use data. I've seen what's going on in Canada, in North America. I've seen it. And it's not like people planned not to just do well at retirement. Some of them didn't have access to some information. Some of them didn't even know.
They didn't know better.
They didn't know better. When I look at those figures, and I'm like, guy, every morning that you wake up, you are getting closer to retirement. Your energy is probably dropping, but you may not know. That is one big motivation for me, and it has helped me. Then the other one is the people I surround myself with, because we are influenced by 3 things. Number 1, what we feed our mind with, the people around us. Sometimes some of us feel like we are strong, nobody can influence me. You will be shocked that you are influenced by people around you. And the third one is your environment. And I have different friends. I have a lot of friends. Everybody is almost my friend, but there are classes. They belong to different classes. There are some people that are just for chit chat. Guy, how fun, what's going on? Hey. And there are some people that I want to sit down and talk to them for 1 hour. And some people I want to talk to them for like 3 hours and ask them questions. So I have mentors, I have people I reach out to, and I see their lifestyle. I see what they're doing, and they also in a way, they are also influencing me. I don't have time for negative energy at all. Because time no day. There's no time to be wasting your positive energy and spending time with negative people. So those are some of the things that influence me, and I have accountability partner. My wife is my accountability partner. We always paint a picture of what's going to happen in the next 20 years. All these guys are gone. What kind of life do we want to live?
That's true. When we're empty nesters, do we want to take a tour of the world? Where do we want to spend our retirement? So good.
Yeah, so those are the things that
That is
So
so good.
I
Thank
think those are
you.
the things that have helped me personally.
That's really, really good. Thank
And
you
it's
very
not as
much
if
for
I'm there
those.
yet.
Yeah, right.
Disclaimer, I'm not
Yeah.
yet there. I don't get money. Oh. I'm still
You're
looking
on the
for
way,
money.
Paul. You're on the way. Ah, my guy, you're on the way. Oh. But seriously, thank you. That really made a lot of sense. You know, the things that influence us, what we feed ourselves, the people we surround ourselves with, right? That's and then our environments. Speaking about the people that we have around us, some people can be influencing you, quote unquote, negatively to spend money that you don't have. No, don't cast Paul, please. Not on this call, not on this Instagram live, financially savvy global. Please do not cast Oga Paul. We know that he is on his way. We know, me and you know. So
Thank
it's
you.
all good. So I was saying that some people can influence you negatively in order to spend money you don't have, just to keep up with the people that you don't even like. That that concept of keeping up with the Joneses, I don't know. There's something about it because you have people around you that are, it's almost like they themselves, they're influencers, everything about their lives. We see it on social media. Everything about their lives is always so curated. Everything is perfect. In fact, when they are telling you that they went to the toilet or they washed their face this morning, it's still perfect. Their houses are beautiful. They're always in the best, and you're like, wow, when will I reach this level? Then me too, I will now say, okay, oh, I want to be like XYZ. I want to have so I want my hair to be like this. I want to carry this kind of bag. I want to live in this kind of house. I want to be going out every weekend. How? How do we avoid keeping up with the Joneses and still maintaining our mental health? Please talk to us about this as we
Mm.
round up. So sorry, you guys, we're talking my money and my mental health, and we've heard so much from Paul. If anyone has a question that is directly related to your money or your mental health or the correlation between the two, please drop your questions in the chat because we're rounding up very soon. Paul, please go ahead. Tell us, how do we avoid keeping up with the Joneses and yet stay emotionally and mentally whole?
Right. So it's important to even talk about that because the environment we find ourselves now, our environment is not just the physical environment, there is virtual
Yes,
environment.
yes.
You go on Instagram, you see things,
Everything is
and you're like,
perfect.
wow, see my life. Meanwhile, it's what they want to show you that they are showing you. So I say the first thing is you probably need to be emotionally strong, and how to build that emotion, how to build your strength emotionally
Mm,
is having a good attitude to life. Being
mm,
grateful every time you wake up will help you. Just show
mm.
gratitude to life. Because
Yes.
sometimes what happens is we usually forget the things that we've prayed for. We are just keep going. You always look for the next goal. And if you are not intentional about being grateful to God and for everything you have, you will always feel like you don't have enough. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm always, because I understand that every new day is a blessing from God. No matter how rich you are, you can't predict what will happen to your life tomorrow.
Mm,
So that alone is a way to be happy,
mm,
and you are
mm.
grateful for that. It keeps you going. And one thing about people that are always grateful, for some reason, negativity cannot survive because
They
they are
can't, it can't
excited,
stay.
they are
Yes.
happy. So that's one. Secondly, I mentioned that personal finance is a personal journey. It's like you going to Toronto, then you find yourself on Highway 401. You see a lot of cars. Everybody's just going.
You don't know where they're
They
going.
don't. You don't know where they're going. But when you get to your destination, you branch and you get
Mm.
where you're going. But Highway 401 is still busy.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is still going, but they are going to different destinations and they won't
Mm.
get there at the same time. If you wake up 2 a.m., you find yourself on Highway 401, cars are running. If you come at 6 p.m., cars are running. So understand that your journey is personal. Don't let people make you make mistakes.
Yeah,
Because if you make mistakes, you're on your own. Oh.
that's true.
So don't be too carried away by what you see on social media. If you feel like it's affecting you, you may want to shut it down.
Yeah, take a break.
You may want to shut it down and take a break. And there's one thing about social media algorithm, especially Instagram. If you are the type that you're about positivity, what you look for is maybe inspirational messages. Those are the things that be coming to
Motivational
your feed.
quotes. Yes.
And if you are the type that is scandals that you're always looking for, those are the things they'll be feeding you with. But that doesn't mean that sometimes you won't see some of your friends that are showing some things that may want to challenge you, like
Mm,
you're not moving at a good pace.
mm,
So if you find yourself in that position, shut it down. And when you're better, when you think you have that strength to manage it, then you can come back. But just know that personal finance is a personal thing. Identify your
mm.
goals, what matters to you, focus on it, and be happy. Be happy. It's the least you owe yourself.
Thank you. I feel like I've really learned a lot today. I have to admit. I really I have picked up from some of the things that you have said, even some of the things you have not said but implied, you know. Personal finance is a personal thing, and we should not allow other people to put us under pressure. That is that is big. That is really, really big. I want to say a big thank you to you. And it looks like there are no questions, so that's okay. We are right on time. Paul, I want to ask you, is there anything else you would love to just say, add, tell us, anything that you want to give to us between now and the next 1 minute where we round up?
Okay, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's been following me. It keeps me going. Like when I see the comments and they say, "Oh, thank you, Paul, for sharing. Thank you for your support, and thank you, Funmi, for being a community builder." Because I see you everywhere, and sometimes you're like,
Please, wait. Don't say you see me everywhere. Oh, please, I don't even
"No,
know.
I
Is that a
mean
compliment?
it's a compliment because we see you doing big things
Oh,
everywhere. You're like
well,
speaking
okay.
here. You have different things that you are doing, and you are still
Okay.
showing up, glowing. So thank you for being a community builder. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for having me. So
I
that's
am
all from my
extremely
end.
happy and grateful. Thank you for being here. I want to say that to everyone that is watching right now or catching the replay, please follow Paul if you were not following him before, and please follow the Soul Clinic online if you were not following us before. Remember that we have 2 more Instagram lives. There's one that we're going to have on Tuesday that is about your affirmations. Paul himself spoke about the fact that he has his own special crafted affirmations concerning money. We're going to be talking about self-help tools from the queen of affirmations herself, Esther Ijewere. And we're also going to be having an Instagram live with Eddie Osaman, who is going to be, he's an immigration consultant, and he's going to be talking to us about newcomers and immigrants and their mental health. This will be next week, Sunday. So please follow us, engage with our content, and remember that we are giving out for free support coaching sessions. If you just go to our website, www.TheVirtualSoulClinic.com. So you don't have to pay, you don't have to spend any money, but you will get 15 minutes talk time with a trained volunteer support coach. These are some of the things that we do to build the community. Okay, so thank you again, Paul. It has been a pleasure. I have learned a lot, and I am really, really looking forward to another time where me and you can dig deeper into some of these concepts. We've learned about budgeting, we've learned about the money mindsets, we've learned about how to tell our money where to go. There's so much that we have learned today, and I'm profoundly grateful to you. Thank you very, very much. And I will not be broke.
I'm not gonna be
I will
broke.
not be broke.
Yeah.
I am affirming that I will not be broke so that I will be even happier than I am right now. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Paul. God bless you. And we will
Thank
talk
you.
soon.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.